Good.
Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
I'm good, Luke. How are you?
Very well.
You've got the world behind you.
I have indeed, yes. It's the global domination of ZUKR. That's what it
Oh,
represents.
is it? Okay, so
Yes.
we're live on my Facebook feed, and
Okay.
my friends are going to see this, and we're going to talk about Zucker. People are they've been seeing like all these posts about sweet stuff and about yummy things, and people are asking for recipes and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you about it, but it's just going to take some time because we've got a lot of stuff that we want to achieve with this project, right?
Absolutely. Okay.
And behind you is the world,
Indeed, yes.
and that means that world domination in a good way is going to be happening. So
Absolutely. Of course. Yes. This will take the world by storm, I'm sure.
yeah. So we got somebody watching, and I'll keep
Mhm.
an eye on this because I'm gonna have to like use multiple devices to keep on top of this because it's technology, and who knows if it's gonna work. If it's not gonna work, we'll give it a go. But anyway,
Yes.
so we come live on my Facebook page to talk to my friends and people I know and people that you probably know too about our project. So I'm gonna let you say some stuff about our project first, and then I will say some stuff about our project next. How's that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's very exciting because we are now at a stage where we're getting the product to our distributors. We've got it with Amazon. It's nice to see the product actually on the Amazon store. So very excited about that. Um, yes, there are some challenges as there are with starting any business, and those are things that are part of the journey. So I think we're both excited about how those challenges are representing themselves and what we're doing to knock those issues over.
Exactly. So I bet there's like people in their gym jams watching this now because it's kind of before bedtime. The kids are in bed and they've probably got a cup of tea or a nice drink, and they want to know what we're talking about really. So I've got my phone here, multiple devices. Things are going to go wrong in this broadcast, and that's okay. That's part of the charm of all of this. But people want to know what on earth we're talking about. So we're talking about ZUKR, and do you want to say what ZUKR is?
Certainly, well, yes, the ZUKR is, our ZUKR is organic erythritol. It's 100% erythritol that we are packaging, and this is a product that is known as a polyol. It's produced from the fermentation of glucose, and that's derived from organic plants.
Right. Okay. You just said glucose, and you can't. Your mind sort of goes into slight meltdown when you hear glucose and health because everybody sort of knows in the bro science world that glucose means all types of kind of bad stuff for your body. Sugar isn't great, but this is just so different, isn't it? This is just one of the
Yeah,
most amazing discoveries I've made in
absolutely.
my life, I think, and that is why we are so passionate about this and why we want to talk about this to everybody, and we want everybody to know that there is a real alternative to sugar, that we don't have to eat sweet foods that are full of toxic glucose and other sort of hidden sugars in the food, that there is a real alternative. But people will hear sort of sugar alternative and then they'll have another meltdown because we've all got PTSD from sweeteners, right?
Absolutely. Yes, and the horrible aftertaste. You wouldn't put it in. You wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't put any of the current sweeteners that are available in your tea or coffee and not suffer with
I know,
that.
I know. I can't. I
Yes.
don't know, but I can't. I can't stand diet drinks. Anything that says diet on it,
Mhm.
I just assume it's going to have a really horrible, nasty aftertaste, and I can't stand it. I don't want to. I don't want it anywhere near my food. And I love really good food. Like I love cooking, making cakes, drinking great coffee, tea. You like sugar in your coffee, or you still like sugar in your coffee now. You like zucchar in your coffee, but you like sweetened coffee, right?
And
So
sweetened
how
tea.
many
I like, yes.
yeah, and sweetened tea. So how many spoons of something to sweeten your tea, like sugar, would you normally have in your tea or coffee
If
per,
I was to
per
go
cup?
to a coffee chain, a well-known coffee chain,
Yeah,
and I would often ask for 5 sugars.
five
And
sugars.
I would put 5 sugars quite happily into a coffee, particularly if it's strong. And because people know that coffee's got quite a bitter taste to it, and that takes it out. What I generally would have at home, though, is 3 teaspoons of ZUKR, and that's
Right.
great because
Okay.
that is
Right.
a
So
massive
so
transition.
now so we talked a little bit about sugar. We're going to go on a massive rant about sugar. So we're gonna like open up on the ranting in a minute. But yeah, so this is the problem that we both hate sweeteners. We both
Yeah.
love sweet drinks. I particularly love cake. I've got this. I love cake. I just love cake, all cakes, sweet stuff, and I'm a total chocoholic. So those two combination of things, and I got into my sort of mid 40s and I'd had this foot surgery and I was being fed a lot of cake for about a year and suddenly I just expanded. I've never ever been overweight or obese outside of pregnancy and I just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get, I'm going to become really, really big in my middle age. And I just, and I love this delicious food. So I'm like, well, I don't want to be dieting and cut out the delicious food. So I spent ages and ages looking for something to be able to satiate that sort of sweet craving without making me expand my waistline and ending up diabetic, because that's not a great win, is it? That's not a
And
culinary win if you end up eating great cake and ending up with a heart attack or diabetes. That's not a great win. So I spent my time looking for an alternative, and I went through all these different things. I tried a type of sweetener called xylitol, but that can make your tummy feel really like sore and bloated. It also has 25% of the carbohydrate of sugar, so it's still gonna like spike your blood sugar if you're diabetic. Not as much as sugar or glucose, but still will do some. Then obviously you've got the dreaded saccharin, which is just vile and revolting, and I can't stand it. And then you've got things like honey, which still spike your blood sugar. The thing is with the blood sugar spike is that you'll have the sweet thing, and then half an hour later you'll want more, won't you? You're hungry again, because what's happened in your body is like you've had the sweet thing, your body's created all of this insulin, your blood sugar spiked up, the body's gone, okay, we need to normalize this blood sugar, so it pushes out all this insulin and brings your blood sugar crashing down again, and then you're hungry again, right? That's why
absolutely,
people will go to
yes.
somewhere, yeah, they'll go to like fast food chain and they'll eat all the fast food, especially in McDonald's, but somewhere like that, and they'll have their fizzy drink, and then 30 minutes later they've had like 1,500 calories in one hit, and half an hour later they're hungry again.
Yes.
It's like
In fact,
it's
of
never
course,
ending.
as you'll know, I mean, in fact, what the pancreas does is it overcompensates and it actually puts out
That's
more
it.
insulin than you actually need to balance your
That
blood
you
sugar.
need, yeah.
And then you have
It's
a
just
sugar
this
low,
habit.
and you're then back
Yeah,
into that
exactly,
seesaw. Not only have you purged a lot of
exactly.
insulin, and you've obviously had that as a massive stress on that organ, you're then
Yeah,
hungry. Yeah, absolutely.
it's all bad. It's
All bad.
basically it's all bad. And so yeah, so I love this cake and all this stuff, but then you end up eating more stuff because you're hungry again, and it's just
Mm,
a never ending thing. So I've done all these sort
yeah,
of low carb diets and stuff in the past, and they are really good for me. Like I feel much better when I reduce my refined carbohydrate, but I still wanted that sweetness, and I was like trying to find something, and then I stumbled across this incredible thing, and then you tried it, and
mm.
I remember when I first let you try some of this amazing discovery, and you just went, I said, just try it. I just said, just try it. And you were like, I hate sweetener. I was like, I know, so do I hate sweetener. And then I think you might have dipped your finger in the sugar pot. Well, it wasn't sugar, it was zucchar, but you
Yeah.
dipped your finger in, and then what happened?
Just yeah, tasted it. It tasted sweet. It was yes, you immediately had that sweet flavor in your mouth. it was incredible that I with the texture, the look of it, that so the granulated, as a granulated product, I think it's almost totally indistinguishable from sugar. It's not as sweet, which is
And that's
actually
what you
quite
said.
nice. Yes, but it's quite
Yeah, but
nice that
you
it's not
said
quite as sweet.
this is sugar. No, but you did what everybody else does, and you went like this, and you went, "That's sugar," and I said,
Yeah,
"No, it's not sugar," and you went, "It's sugar," and I went, "It's not sugar," and you kept going, and then you went, he said, oh, that's got a really kind of nice cooling effect as well. I said, that's really nice. And then remember, you put it in your coffee,
yes.
and I said, and it's got no. And then the next thing I said is, and it's got no calories. And then you go, you can put as much in your coffee as you want, right?
Absolutely.
So you had your coffee, and then what?
Oh
That's
yeah, I
it,
mean
isn't it? But you,
it's fabulous. Yeah, loved it. And then the thing is, it's like this, a bit of a cliche, but the gift that keeps giving. I mean, it attacks the bacteria in your mouth. It's tooth friendly, so that's great. You don't feel bad. One of the big wins for me with it actually was sprinkling it over cornflakes. I have
oh,
I really, really love covering my cornflakes in ZUKR and thinking, wow, this is good for you. You're actually sweetening something, and it's actually
yeah,
having
you
a
sweetening
positive,
something.
yeah, having a positive
I know.
result from it. Cleaning your mouth, no spike on your blood sugar. So a lot of these cereals with
Yeah,
hidden sugar are
yeah, yeah,
were are kind of off the breakfast menu, because obviously if
yeah.
you have a high sugar breakfast, by 10 o'clock you're hungry again. So again, that's
Exactly.
a great way to start the day.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think, when you're trying, you get to a certain, well, I'm of that certain age, aren't I? I'm a lady of a certain age, and you get to that certain age, and you just think, okay, I can't probably eat as much cake and get away with it as I could before. I probably can't have 5 coffees with 5 sugars in a day,
Sure.
right? It just loading up the sugar, and then have a bowl of pasta, and then it just all adds up, doesn't it, to the kind of high GI overload in your body.
Yeah.
And of course, we've got the side effect of it making us, put on weight and all of that. But that aside, you just add it all up together, and before you know it, if you've had 3 or 4 cups of tea and you're having like 3 sugars in, it just all adds up, doesn't it? It's just
Yes.
terrible.
Yeah.
But then, you tried this, and then you're like, oh my God, this is sugar. Like, it's not sugar. We had that little argument. Yeah, you had it, and then I remember I sent you away with some, and then that was it. I don't think you've had sugar in your house since, have you?
No, it's I think there is a tiny bit somewhere that is in a sugar pot that I haven't seen for
It's
uh,
crusted over now.
yeah,
That
I don't know
sugar's
where it
dead.
is. It's lost. It has no place. The thing that is really important, the thing that's really important, I think, though, to understand in the effect that it's had. Not only is it great to have it on your cereal and it feels good and it tastes great, but the biggest takeaway for me is the fact that I don't feel hungry because I haven't spiked my sugar. So it's not you lose weight with this product, not because it's the lack of calories or the fact that there are no calories in it. It's the fact that you don't become hungry and therefore you don't keep eating. That's the thing that stops you.
Yeah,
That's the stops the weight gain. So yeah, I'm really
that's the
excited.
thing, isn't it? That is,
Yeah,
yeah,
but by the
yeah.
time
And
we've
so,
got, by the time we're making, sorry to interrupt. Sorry, I was going to say that the time that we're making the
no,
ice cream, the cakes, the biscuits, the sweets for the children,
everything.
sherbet, all of these things. These are all of the massive areas, and obviously things like sweetened yogurt. Once we can get and sweetened drinks, one supermarket only sells diet drinks, and it's got aspartame in it, and yeah. So once we can get people converted over to that, and the bigger chains starting to swap out the sweeteners and start putting ZUKR in, then that's going to be the turning point for the nation, I think.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So anyway, without further ado, I mean, we need a drum roll now
Yeah.
for us to introduce this, and you're going to show us the other babies that you've got in your house. Then, but this is
Oh
this is
yes,
it.
yes,
This is
yes.
it. This is it. So this is what we are so crazy about. It is. organic erythritol, which is probably the worst name that anybody could come up with for a food. But it's, no one has heard of it. That's the thing. So we are just on such a mission for everybody has to hear about this, because this is a massive life changer. It's got no calories, it's got 0 active carbohydrates. The carbohydrate in this can't be synthesized by the body, it just gets peed out again. It has no effect on blood sugar spiking. It tastes like sugar, it feels like sugar. You can use it for cooking, baking, everything you would use sugar for, and as much of it as you like. And it's got no bad consequences at all. It's just an absolute no-brainer. So this is our ZUKR, and it's now, we've got it out on Amazon. We've got a small amount that we are going to be giving away as samples, and we're going to put a link somewhere below this video, so that people that want to try it can, you know, just jump on that and get the free samples. Got a very small amount of free samples that we're going to be giving away, just select group of people, and then, you know, you've got to jump on that, because when it's gone, it's gone. We want people to try it. We want to change people's lives, don't we? What is our mission?
Absolutely,
we want to change.
It'll stop people, you know, consuming things that are toxic for them because they're not aware of an alternative. You know, if you're going to consume sugar, you're going to block things like absorption of vitamin C. There are so many things. It's not just
no good thing can come out of it.
There's nothing good, you know. And so so yes, we've got our campaign, we've got samples, we've got our little, you can see another sort of little campaign that we've got going here, which is that we've been shipping packs of Costa with the ZUKR, because the thing that we've obviously posted.
Oh, show me again. I need to sit again.
You again. Yes.
For the baby.
Yeah, so we've got a few packs of Costa here that we're starting to mail out with the ZUKR, because of our campaign that ZUKR loves Costa. And it would be fabulous once we've got to a stage where we've got some big coffee chains on board with getting rid of the sugar sticks that they give away and swapping over to ZUKR.
ZUKR, absolutely.
Yes.
And the thing that I love most about the effect that this has had, I need to show people this, because they're just you know, they're just going to think it's one of those kind of really light, powdery. First of all, it does not look like a sweetener. It isn't a sweetener. Let me see if I can show this. Look at that. Okay, it can you see it or not? Can you see it? Right.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
This
yes.
is,
Yes.
Yeah, you see it. It's exactly like sugar. Exactly the same consistency, the same smell, feel, and taste. There's a small difference, I'll say. And I'm just put some in my mouth, because this is what I always do to people. They come through the door and I'm like, you need to taste this. Do you have any sugar in your tea? They go, yes, please. I'll have 2 sugars. I go, okay. You want to try some of this? And they're like, oh, well, it's sugar. I said, no, you just try it. And I always get them to dip their finger in. Anyway, it's got a slight cooling effect on the tongue, which is really kind of refreshing. It's not too much. It's almost, you would miss it, wouldn't you? But what it does is that it hits your mouth. It actually doesn't feed the nasty bacteria in your mouth. So it actually promotes oral health. It's one of the things that we love about this, because you can use this for children, because it doesn't have nasty side effects that other polyols have, such as xylitol, sorbitol, maltitol. All of those can make your tummy a little bit bloated. They can have side effects for people that have, sort of tendency to have bloating and things like that. This doesn't do that. It doesn't seem to have the same gastrointestinal effects from the, sorry, long medical words, but it doesn't have the same digestive effects. So children love it. That's one of the things I've discovered. Yes. We've discovered our children love it. Yeah, your son just wants it on everything now, doesn't he? Your little one.
Absolutely, yes, loves it, and yes, and realizes that there are no consequences. So therefore, which is like the cake, you know, and anybody that likes cake and wants to eat cake without the consequences, you know, this is the same whether you're having it in a drink or on your porridge in the morning. I mean, just stop having golden syrup and start sprinkling ZUKR on top. You know, it is just
Yeah,
a
exactly.
very, very good way to sweeten anything. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, there's just no point. And so yes, one of the things that we are really passionate about is as well is to really bring this um, to the whole family. And one of the things that we've really worked hard to do as well is to appeal to children, because at the moment the sugar market is well, I think the darkest side is that it's so a children's, or in inverted commas, children's food is so packed with sugar to hook them on the food. So one of the things that people don't realize is when they have a sugary food, it hits the dopamine center in the brain in the same way as cocaine does. And so people actually get physically addicted to that dopamine hit, that sugar high that they get. And children of all are the most susceptible to that. That's why, and food manufacturers know this, it's not an accident that they fill children's foods with sugar. They pack them with sugar. And then when they say no added sugar, they just pack it with fructose or pack it with, concentrate, a fruit concentrate. And so they'll find other ways around just to do the same, have the same effect, to just hit that dopamine center in the brain, cause you to be addicted to this food, and then you want more and more and more of it. So we thought it was one of the things we wanted to do is to make sure that, we were trying to re-educate actually families on this amazing alternative replacement, and that it would appeal to children, that this is something, and it's worked because the children go mad for it, don't they? They look at ZUKR, and as soon as they see the name, they're like ZUKR, and they shout. And then we've made some recipes and stuff where the kids have been our main testers for it, and they've just gone crazy. They've loved it, haven't they?
Absolutely. Whether cake, yes, lemon drizzle cake, the brownies, the scones, the yes, and all the cookies and everything. I mean, they've gone down so well. Yes, it's been it's been a real revelation.
Amazing. And the
Yes.
one the secret one, I mean, I can't wait for this one, for us to release this one, because this one's going to be, this is my all-time favorite, is the strawberry sherbet. The ZUKR strawberry sherbet that we made with natural strawberries. That was my favorite, because I loved watching the children. We made in the summer, we were trying lots of different recipe development as part of our developing of our products. And we've got a whole bunch of product range that we're going to be releasing, but this one was my favorite. And as well as the brownies, as well as the cheesecake, as well as the lemon drizzle, but it was the smile on the children's faces when that I said, dip your finger, and it was this beautiful pink sherbet made out of strawberries, real strawberries, with no sugar in there, and with ZUKR, and had that lovely zinginess, and their faces as they saw the pink sherbet. And I remember I was giving some out to some parents, and the children and the parents, I said, and it's got no sugar in it, try some. And they tried it, and they kept, this is the same reaction that you had with that's sugar. They go, how is this not sugar? They're like, they're trying it. They're like, this is sugar. How is this not sugar? They kept saying the same thing.
Yes.
So it's really nice. Yeah. And it's just, imagine if we could have that effect of helping children across the world, but especially start with our country here in the UK, to switch from sugar to ZUKR, and the effect that could have on their health and well-being.
Absolutely. Yes. And as we've discussed as well, when we get to the stage where we're able to manufacture it in the UK, we will be sourcing the organic vegetables from organic farmers in the UK. So all of the so the farmers that are producing the vegetables that we can create the ZUKR from, we can, it's not going to have a negative impact on the farmers who are within the UK, because instead of them selling it to a sugar producer, we can buy those organic produce from them and actually make it with a plant in the UK. That will be the ideal situation for us.
That's our goal, is because I mean, most of the people that know me know I work in public health, so I'm really passionate about educating people, re-educating them on all of these amazing sort of things. It can be really simple lifestyle changes that have like really massive long-term consequences if you just are consistent in maintaining those small changes. So this is a small change, but it's not such a small change. With taking sugar out of your diet, or even if you were to reduce sugar by 50%, that would be a massive thing, right? And but we have some of the most overweight and obese children in the world.
Yeah.
40%,
Yes.
did you know 40% of our children are either overweight or obese in this country at the moment? So that's
No, I didn't know it was that high, but
40%, and two-thirds of adults in the UK across the 4 nations are either overweight or obese. They fall into that category of not normal. So only 1/3 of adults in the UK are of a normal body weight.
yes. And of course, the cost to the country for dental work on children. You know, children are having, you know, and it's not pleasant. Yeah, not pleasant for a child to be sitting in a dentist chair being drilled while, yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
And the other thing is, obviously, we know that children now, we're seeing children with things that were unheard of, like type 2 diabetes, or obviously the dental problems, and all of the sort of secondary knock-on effects of, you know, more sedentary lifestyle, all sorts of things, mental health. There's a cascade effect, we call it in sort of healthcare. It's a cascade of a perfect storm, basically. And I don't think there's an accident that the sugar industry, you know, is constantly looking for new ways to pump sugar into foods, right? I don't think those two things are not accidents. That the sugar industry is putting more sugar in the foods, the food industry is pumping foods full of sugar, and the sugar industry is pushing all of this cheap sugar out there, and that nations across the world are getting bigger. I just don't think the two things are unrelated, which is why we've had government campaigns to put sugar tax on fizzy drinks, right? We've seen that. So that has been evidenced to the point of making that into a campaign and rolling that out across the country as law, you know. So what we're saying is nothing new. We're just saying that what I think is that if you try to get people to give something up, the likelihood is they just don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear that message, do they?
No,
the
that's
message,
right, absolutely. And
giving up something when they love it so much. Why should they give up cake?
Yeah. No, sure.
That's
exactly. And obviously the government aren't quite doing enough, really. They need to have a look at the different areas and look at different foods that have got the added sugar in. Obviously, back in the summer, we were talking about the fact that they've started to look at what's advertised on television later into the evening, stop people snacking late at night. But one of the things we've also said is that, you know, with us being a bit more sedentary through the lockdowns over the last couple of years, it's meant that people have been eating convenience food. They're stuck at home. You know, they're not moving around very much, and so this is, you know, it's an epidemic.
It's a perfect storm. So we've got the obviously COVID, the pandemic, but we've actually got a secondary pandemic, which was there in the background anyway. Obesity epidemic was international, but COVID has actually exacerbated that because we've been in lockdowns, as you said. You know, we've been locked in, locked at home. And honestly, I don't judge people, because I just think, you know, people are fed up. They want to be comforted. You want to feel comforted when you're at home. You want to open your fridge and you want to eat something yummy, and you want to drink a cup of tea, and you want to put some, you know, do you want to make it sweet tea? I want to have a chai tea. I want to have a hot chocolate. I want to have a coffee. I want to make it nice. I don't want it to taste like rubbish, like crap, sorry, but I don't want it to taste rubbish. I don't want it to taste like a diet food, or like, you know, one of these horrible artificial sort of sweetener things. I want the real thing. If I want to comfort myself, I don't want to comfort myself on rubbish. I want really nice foods, which is why I think, you know, what we think is that delicious sweet foods should not come with a consequence. We really believe that, don't we? Now we've discovered this and we are so passionate about it. We, you know, this is our campaign, is that we want people to be able to, you know, stop this, oh, you have to self-flagellate and everything's about guilt and feeling bad and, oh no, I should be eating a lettuce leaf, but I'm just going to eat the cheesecake. Well, why don't we make the cheesecake healthier for you so that you can enjoy the cheesecake and eat the lettuce leaf? I'm not saying don't eat the lettuce and we have to eat our vegetables, but I want the cheesecake. I do want the cheesecake. I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that. I want the cheesecake, I want the chocolate cake, and I want the brownies. And I want to be able to sit in front of the TV in the evening when I've had a hard day at work and drink a cup of tea, a cup of chai with a bit of, you know, sweet cup of tea and a chocolate brownie and enjoy it without feeling guilty. And I've been at work all day and I
Yes.
think I deserve it. You know, so I just feel like we are
Yes.
so judgmental of people. Oh, you know, you are not moving enough. We all know that we just need to eat less calories and move more. And then it's, you know, okay, we all know that, but I still want the cheesecake,
Mm.
you know.
Yes.
So we just got to make these
Yeah.
sorry, but you're not going to take me away from the cake. So I go back to the same thing. We need to make these foods healthier for people to have without compromising flavor. And so that, you know, that's the thing. When I discovered this, I was like, oh my God, this is a new thing. And then you can tell us all the history about it, because this is the bit that blows my mind. Go on, Luke. The history.
The history, the history, yes. Well, it was 150 years ago. I think it was about 170 years ago that ZUKR was discovered,
1848, right?
and 1848. John Steinhaus, I think, the man that invented the respirator, which obviously which has been, it's quite apt with the pandemic, that this
Yes.
particular inventor also discovered that by taking vegetables and then creating a fermentation meant that he had obviously discovered erythritol by doing so. And so from that point, although that idea didn't really take off because obviously of the influx of sugar, and sugar at the turn of the century was very cheap, it wasn't really until it was relaunched by the Japanese in about 1990. And then again across America, it's very big in America. And now we've got a number of plants throughout Europe, and some of the bigger manufacturers, America and China being the biggest, are producing erythritol by using yeast to ferment it, as you would if you were like anybody perhaps around the middle of last century might have been distilling vegetables or grain to produce alcohol, obviously with other purposes. But not to be confused, one of the things you mentioned earlier on is about glucose. But if you were to take, that really is just, if you like, the starting point. A bit like if you took a potato. I mean, the difference between, distilling a potato into alcohol and what you end up with the end product, they're not similar at all. The potato and poteen as an alcohol are totally different, and this is the same. What this is producing as a result of actually the fermentation of the glucose is a completely new and very fresh, or not new because obviously it was invented a long time ago, but new to the market in the UK. That's the thing that people like to know more about. Yeah, and that's why we're doing it. To make it to get everybody on board as a national health campaign. Yeah.
As a national health campaign, because we really want people to enjoy the sweetness that they crave so much, that they deserve. To be honest, people have gone through enough. They don't want to be made to feel guilty or bad or body shamed. Let's just stop body shaming people. Let's stop making them feel bad, and let's come up with real alternatives, real replacements. Not even alternatives, real replacements for those foods that we know are making us sick. Let's make that food that we love so much healthier for us. And if we could just take this one ingredient and swap it out for something that is equally as delicious and even more and is just as versatile, what is there not to love about that? That's the thing, that's the
Absolutely.
thing. And I just think we're so passionate about this. So without further ado, I think probably we will close now, because we could just talk about this all night, couldn't we? I totally could.
Yes, absolutely.
People every time we meet people, we start talking about it.
And everybody's so enthusiastic about it, and I'm so pleased that everybody wants to try it and say, I like the taste. The Trustpilot reviews are really encouraging, and then anybody can give the samples to. So we need to publish where people can get some samples from.
Underneath this video, exactly. So underneath this video, I'm going to be posting all about how to get this a very small amount. So you've got to kind of get them quick, because we're getting a very small amount of free samples out, and when they're gone, they're gone. But you need to put your name down on the list, and you'll receive a sample like this in the post of our beautiful ZUKR, and then you'll receive it in the post, and then what we'll want is just to hear all about it, all the feedback we want to hear. And we also are going to be, I mean, in our launch coming up, just talk about some of the things. So ZUKR is going to be, it's available ready in Amazon. We've got our own e-commerce store that's going to be launched in the next couple of days. We've got fantastic recipes that we're going to be giving away, loads and loads of giveaways for people. And you know, you're going to be able to get discounts and subscriptions to it. Really want people to know about this, to shout about this, and to change just one habit in your life, and just replace sugar with this, and you see what an amazing result it's going to have. I have managed to lose 13 kilos without doing very much, sedentary, completely sedentary, and eating cake. Sitting around, I do a sedentary job where I'm on my laptop, and I've managed to keep the weight off for 2 years, nearly 18 months. No, nearly 2 years. So a long time. Yeah. So nearly 2 years. I think I was when I started the journey, and it's been about maybe 18 months since I pretty much hit my target. And I mean, people weight fluctuates a little bit at Christmas, a few things that I might have eaten, but you know, it's overall, because this one habit is just there all the time. The weight just is pretty steady. And you found the same, not that you were overweight, but you found that you just not, you know, you're actually less craving of food, right?
Yes, that's right. Yes, and I think also the fact that it is slightly less sweet than sugar, it does actually make you crave the ZUKR more than you would sugar, because actually, if you were ever to try something with sugar in after you've had the ZUKR, it actually becomes it feels toxic in your mouth because it's too sweet, and you get used to that slightly less sweetness. Yeah, I was going to say, what's really great about obviously, yeah, absolutely. It just tastes far too sweet for once you're not, once you've moved on to having ZUKR, you don't really ever want to go back. But I think post the Christmas situation, no, I didn't gain weight at all over Christmas. I carried on. I had ZUKR. I didn't feel hungry, and it meant that I didn't overeat. So I've come into the new year with actually not too much of some spare tire to lose. So I'm very pleased about that.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes losing.
What did you say?
It makes losing weight. I was saying it makes losing weight very easy.
Exactly. And what's not to love about losing weight by eating cake? What's not to love about that? So, yeah, just to remind people, so we've got our shop coming up on Amazon, so we'll post links about that coming up. But more importantly, we're going to tell people about the free samples. There's very few that we're giving away. When they're gone, they're gone. So put your name on the list, get the samples. We'll be in touch with you, send them in the post, and then we'll be giving loads of information out, loads of things planned. We've got cake clubs and cookery lessons and all types of things in the pipelines. We can't wait to share that with you. So thanks a lot, Luke. Let's show us the babies one more time. Show us the babies.
Oh, here they are. Here they all are.
Look how cute they are. Look at them.
All ready to go.
Oh, I love them.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So they're ready to go.
Yes.
Brilliant.
So,
brilliant. Yes. All right. We'll catch up with